Hello and welcome back. It is time for our predictions for the EFL Championship 2024-2025. You are at the home of the most accurate championship predictions on the planet, because last season, Nathan, I was from 29 content creators, be it a podcast, YouTube channel, etc. I actually finished with the best score using the Spencer FC model, where I came away with 82 points. The likes of not the top 20 on 106 points, who've got great respect for. The second tier podcast, and of course, the you could say the god of championship predictions, and that is Benjamin Bloom. But Benjamin didn't have the best of seasons last season. But we do move on to this season. Hopefully it's not going to be too much of a long video, and we'll kick off with the three teams, Nathan, you think are going to get relegated.
Yeah, so starting off with the bottom three, in 24th place this season, I have gone, sorry Pieface, for Plymouth Argyle. Got massive concerns about Wayne Rooney coming in, haven't I? Not the greatest record at this level. Got sacked at Birmingham City last year. We all know the story with that. He's had run-outs at Derby, etc., DC United. They need to keep Morgan Whittaker for any hope, really, don't they? Got decent loans coming in and the minimal outgoings, which is going to help them in the fight. However, they need a bit more championship quality for me, so they're going to finish bottom. Second bottom, 23rd place, I have gone for Blackburn Rovers. Lots of departures going out the door with very little added quality. Lost the likes of Sam Gallagher and Wolstead as well, which is massive. If Sammy Schmodix leaves, for me, they're going to finish bottom without fail. You've got chaos off the pitch, a lot of negativity in the stands there at Ewood Park as well. So ultimately, that's going to see him down. It's a recipe for disaster. And then in 22nd place, got one of the new boys, Derby County. They've released a lot of championship experience going out the door, haven't they? With a couple of championship fringe players coming in, like Conor Hourihane, Dwight Gale, Corey Smith, Joe Smith, all going out the door.
Sibley as well.
Yeah, Lewis Sibley's gone out the door. Brought in Ibu Adams, fringe player from us, and also Jerry Yates, who didn't score that many goals for Swansea last season, did he? There's a lot of League One sludge in that side for me, and I've got massive concerns about Paul Warne, especially with his record at Rotherham in the Championship as well. So yeah, there's my bottom three.
So my bottom three, I'm actually going to go, unfortunately, from one of the sides who came up in the bottom position. I've gone for Derby County. To get up to the Championship was absolutely fantastic, but their squad, it doesn't look the best on paper. Going forward on the wings, you've got the likes of Mendes, Lang. I think he's coming to the twilight of his career now at 31, scoring a couple goals in pre-season, etc. But you've got Ibu Adams, who probably thrives in Division 1, but Championship level, we've seen he's okay, but he's the linchpin there. I know, if he's the linchpin there in central midfield for the Championship, they're going to struggle, unfortunately. And then, as you say, Nathan, they've got Paul Warne, a stalwart at getting teams up, i.e. Rotherham and Derby now, but has struggled big time with his sides in the Championship. So we've got Derby, unfortunately, bottom. Then I've got Oxford United in 23rd position. Okay, Des Buckingham, very good manager. They were off the pace a little bit in, I think, League One, and Josh Murphy had his sort of purple patch, hasn't he? He's actually got to Portsmouth now, as a lot of people have touched on. Will it be a big loss? Possibly. I can't see him pulling up trees in the Championship either.
We've seen him in the Premier League and Championship.
Yeah, he blows hot and cold, but they brought in the likes of Mizumi from Ipswich and Jamie Cunningham, etc. Fair few players coming in, but they're just not ready, are they? I know they've got likes of Sparky Harris, Mark Harris up front. If he's going to be spearheading that Oxford attack, I don't think he's going to get the goals.
Done really well in League One, but we've seen him at Championship. He's never hot and cold.
He's an accident waiting to happen. I know he picks up a lot of yellow cards. And then, surprise, in 22nd, I have gone for Watford. It looks an absolute disaster there at Watford. All sorts of stuff going on the pitch. I think they would try to sell part of the club to their fans, etc. They've got a nucleus of a good side, maybe 5 or 6 players. But if they lose Asprilla, the 20-year-old Colombian, that's the stardust in that side. If he goes and it looks like he is, then they're going to struggle big time, and I can see them going down. And Tom Cleverley probably won't last until Christmas if they're struggling down there near the foot of the table. So that's my bottom three. Next, we go from 16th up to 21st, and I've got Plymouth Argyle, the Wayne Rooney show, in 21st position. He's now, a lot of people are giving him stick, probably a little bit understandably because of the torrid time he had at Birmingham, took over and managed to get them relegated, you could say. And surprisingly, he was on the TV so much over the summer, punditting. Whittaker is there, whether he's happy or not, who knows. Home Park was a bit of a fortress in the early part of the season, and they'll have to make Home Park a real difficult place to go for the opposition teams as well. And I can see them just staying up this season. In 20th, I've got Blackburn. I think John Eustace will have enough about him to keep this Blackburn side out. Defensively, I think he'll set up quite well. Probably haven't got the firepower if Smoditz does decide to go, or if they sell him, bringing in the likes of, Weinman from Bristol City, tail end.
He's tailing off now, isn't he?
Yeah, tail end. A lot of experience up front. And Yuki Ashaishi, coming in from Japan, he's 28 years of age. We'll see how he gets on in the EFL, but I think they'll struggle, but I think they'll just have enough to stay up. In 19th, I've gone for a massive surprise here in Hull City. Now, they have lost a lot of firepower going out with the door, a lot of goals. Carvalho, of course, he was on loan. Finnegan, of course, going back to Aston Villa.
That's what happens when you have a buyback clause in your contract.
Jacob Greaves as well is going to be a massive loss, and it is a massive hole in that team. Okay, Ryan Giles has signed on permanently now, taking up that option, and an excellent left back, and get down that wing and provide plenty of crosses and ammunition for the front players, but whether they can capitalise on his good play, who knows. And on the other flank, they brought in Cody Drama right back, and on his day is a very, very good defender and player going forward. But at this point in the season, or at this point of recording, I think Hull City will struggle. You never know. They've still got a month in the transfer, well, the best part of a month in the transfer window to go, so we should see a lot of influx of players coming into Hull City, especially with the amount of money they've brought in for those players. And in 18th position, I have gone for Portsmouth. Team come up, got a lot of momentum under the stewardship of John Mourinho, Marlon Pack, playmaker, captain in the middle of midfield. Not sure his legs can take up, the rigours of another championship campaign. Probably decent enough in League One, but we'll see what happens with him. But I've got Portsmouth staying up. I think they'll just have enough about them, and the fans will be well behind them at Fratton Park down there on the south coast. 17th position. Now, if I were going to an ice cream parlour and you had an array of 100 flavours of ice cream, this team, Preston North End, would be the vanilla in that array of ice cream. Alan Brown going out the door to Sunderland, isn't it? He'll be a big blow in the middle of the park. Incomings don't look the best. Stefan Tito Fortson from Sky, Silkeborg, and Sam Greenwood on loan from Leeds. They need to get a bit more business, don't they, Preston? Defensively, they always look solid. They had a great start to last season, but tailed off. And if they don't bring in a few more players, not sure their financial situation there at Preston, then Ryan Lowe will have his work cut out. But I think they'll be all right. And in 16th position, I have gone for Stoke City, who Stephen Schumacher's excellent coach, getting Plymouth up a couple of seasons ago. In midfield, they've still got the werewolf in the guys of Ben Pearson, and bringing in Gallagher from Blackburn is a decent enough bit of business, but he doesn't score enough goals for me. For Stoke, probably pretty much the same as last season for me in 16th position. Nathan, you're 21st to 16th.
So 21st, I've actually gone for Stoke. They're going to regress even more after what's been, the last 7 years, absolutely horrifying. Sam Gallagher's a decent signing, but like all the good signings that they've had before, supposedly, he is going to underperform in a team that traditionally underperforms as well, no matter how much money that you throw at it. Will we have an early Schumacher sacking as well? Possible. It's usually on the cards with Stoke, isn't it? They've also brought in decent players like Victor Johansson from Rotherham. Eric Junior Bacat is another good one. Ben Gibson's also in for squad depth as well. So I think it's going to be a poor season from him again. So 21st. 20th. Must be insane with this one. I've gone for Oxford United to stay up. They've been very active in the transfer market, haven't they? Smart free transfers, adding depth all over the pitch. We've already proven Championship players dotted around in there.
Though, I'm not so sure of Kyron Brown in the centre.
Oh, that's horrifying.
The quality in the middle of that defence isn't that great, is it? For Championship level anyway.
But elsewhere on the pitch and other pockets as well, they've had players who were proven in the Championship who dropped down to League One and got them up. Buckingham getting them up in a very quick manner as well, less than half a season. You never know, I think they'll have a good year, so I'm just about staying up. So in 19th, I have gone for Portsmouth. A very good start is going to keep them up at the end of the day. Mousinho, I think, is an underrated manager, especially after last season. On the whole, got a decent squad for this level, but they need to watch the patchy form, which will probably happen to them around Christmas and February, won't it, to be fair. Next up in 18th, bit of a risk this one. I've gone for Watford. They could potentially finish lower than this. They're going to lose a Spreer at the end of the day, aren't they? That's what I'm worried about. And also Kone has left the club as well, which... massive.
They brought in Sissoko. I think, he's played there before, isn't he? He's done like 70 caps for France. But he's coming to the end of his career, isn't he?
He is. It's just sort of one of those freebie signings. And at the end of the day, under the Pozzos, they are in managed decline, aren't they? Cleverly sacking is going to be certain. Obviously, Watford legend there. Been given the role after Ishmael was sacked last year, wasn't he? He's had very little money to spend, so I don't really know what he's going to be able to do with this squad, to be honest. So, going to be a tough season for Watford. 17th, more controversial comments probably coming in the chat in my direction, and that is going to be Swansea City in 17th. They've made some cracking signings, to be fair to them. Eon, the Korean winger as well. Goncalo Franco's another great option. Zan Vipotnik is another good one from Bordeaux as well, as their new number 9. They've spent a fair bit of money to be fair to them, but as always, I have massive concerns about Luke Williams' style of play. We all know why. And also, there is a lot of weak depth as well in midfield and defence, which the fans have been crying out for. Plus, not only that as well, you haven't replaced Nathan Wood, which is going to be crucial for you pushing up the table.
Ben Cabango's going to have his work out next season, isn't he? So.
Yeah, they just need some depth there. Plus, adding to that, there's a lot of negativity, which is being evidently seen off the pitch as well. So, anyway, moving on. 16th. I've gone for the boring team, Preston North End. Losing Alan Brown on a free is massive to Sunderland. He pretty much ran that squad, didn't he? Such a great player. I'm a bit 50-50 on Ryan Lowe. He's a manager who blows hot and cold for me. But they're just going to have enough to avoid a relegation battle, aren't they? So that's my 21st to 16th. So next up, we're going to go from 15th to 11th. In 15th, I've gone for Millwall. Neil Harris back at the helm had a really great... He had a fantastic end of last season, didn't he? Dragging Millwall, kicking and screaming at the table. He knows the league very well. 2 great signings in Macaulay Langstaff and Tanganga as well. You've also had the really sad news about Mateusz Sarkic as well in the summer as well. They need a little bit more quality, Millwall, to obviously boost up the league. But I think under a first full season under Neil Harris, 15th with a lot of this strength of the Championship that's coming on now, it's going to be a good season for them for me. Anyway, moving on to 14th, I've got Queen's Park Rangers. Cifuentes came in last season. Everyone thought they were doomed and kept them up really, really comfortably as well. It's going to be a transitional season for them, isn't it? Lots of players in and out. Zan Salah looks to be an absolutely cracking signing up front as well, so it's going to be exciting to see what they do from there. More controversy from me in the comments coming up. In 13th position, I've gone for the Blades, Sheffield United. Poor momentum at this level is really hard to get rid of, isn't it, guys? They've had a lot of big money sales going out the door. Cameron Archer, Jayden Bogle, Benny Traore as well as another one going out the door. Had some smart signings. Kiefer Moore, Callum O'Hare is really good at this level if you can keep him fit as well. But I think they're going to be worked out very quickly. And that really bad run in the Premier League last season, it's going to cost them, isn't it? So mid-table for them. In 12th, I've gone for Sunderland, who had a bit of a disaster towards the end of the last campaign, didn't they? They've got this guy from France in called Lebris as well. Paveda and Alan Brown, really nice free signings. They're slowly getting rid of the Deadwood as well. However, they just need a little bit more spending, and not with the way that sort of they're operating things at the moment. It seems that it's going to be a bit more of a long-term project there. So going to go mid-table, sort of another transitional season for them. In 11th place, I've gone for Sheffield Wednesday. Danny Roll's first full season in charge. Incredible from him last year as well. They've had some great squad signings coming in at this level as well. Jamal Lowe, Nathan Chalobah's another great one. Solid season for them on the cards, isn't it, at the end of the day? So 15th to 11th.
15th for me, Nathan. I have gone for the Jack Swansea City, as you said. A couple of real decent signings, especially going forward up front. This Korean guy, Ji Sung Eom, I think he is, from, is it Kawangja FC? Baptista Franco as well, and in goals they've picked up the Burnley keeper Vigouroux, although I think he's played most of his trade in the lower leagues. Nathan Wood, of course, in central defence, is going to be a massive blow to the centre half partnership there. I've got the Jacks finishing in 15th position. Next up, in 14th position, I have gone for Sunderland. Young squad there, bringing in Brown from Preston. Probably be a little bit of a babysitter there for Sunderland. Last season they were very middle of the road, weren't they? Blow hot and cold. They got some real decent youngsters in their squad, but I can see them finishing mid-table in 14th. Then I've gone 13th, QPR. The Spaniard Martí Cifuentes, if I can say that correctly, really turned them around, and a bit of a makeshift squad that they've got there. No real big stars. I know that Sinclair Armstrong has gone out the door, and he was a real bully up front for QPR. Didn't score enough goals. I think he only scored some like 3 league goals for them, but Cifuentes really turned them round. Looking at the transfers coming in for the season, not really impressing me. A lot of youngsters that they're bringing through the door. Maybe he'll work his magic there, but I do see them having a lot better season this time round. See them finishing in mid-table in 13th position. Then in 12th, I've gone for Millwall. Another steady season for them. I can see them struggling in front of goal. The likes of Bradshaw and Langstaff coming in. I don't think they're going to get more than 10 goals a piece there up front. So for me, Millwall will be a rock hard nut to crack for the opposition. Tanganga at this level has looked really good, coupled with his centre half partnership with Cooper. Should see Millwall defensively be okay. In the 11th position, I've gone for the Owls, Sheffield Wednesday. Danny Roll was an absolute revelation there for Wednesday. Still, Barry Banham, he must be sort of in a bit of a probably in a mobility scooter in the middle of the park, but he pulls the strings in the middle of midfield. They brought in a few decent signings. It was Ingleson from Hansard, Rockstock, Jan Valery from Angers, Chalobah from West Brom, Chamalo, average for this division, but Danny Roll, brilliant when he came in and took over the stewardship for the managerial wise last season, and Sheffield Wednesday were really in trouble, weren't they, before he took charge?
So they were doomed.
I think they'll finish in 11th position. Next up, we're going to go from 10th to 7th. These are the teams that are going to be knocking on the door, and maybe one or two of these teams could actually find themselves in the playoffs. But in 10th position, I have gone for the Wurzels, Bristol City, under the stewardship of Liam Manning. As we said, Armstrong coming in from QPR. I don't think he'll be scoring loads of goals. I think the weight of that will be amongst their other strikers, but he's really one for the future. He does look a bit of a prospect. as we said, he can take the knocks, hold the ball up well. He just doesn't contribute too much in front of the goal from a goal scoring sense. In ninth position, I have gone for West Bromwich Albion, and we've just found out that they are going to be under a bit of a transfer embargo of such. I think they've just got to get any players that they have coming in. It's got to be signed off by the league or something. I've got to read up a little bit there. Lost quite a few players going out the door, bit of the spine of their side. Obviously, Kipri had a great season in centre of defence last season. Up front, they've lost Thomas Asante going to Coventry. Going forward, they look decent. Jed Wallace still there, of course. I think he's club captain, and Jonathan Swift. They'll be a handful for any side, especially as they've got Carlos Corberan at the helm, one of the best, if not the best manager in the division. But I think they'll struggle if they're going to have transfer embargo issues there. But so I've got them in ninth position. In eighth position, I've gone for Cardiff City. A lot of people on the internet, etc., think Cardiff will struggle or be around mid-table. It all depends on if they can keep the majority of their star players fit. Obviously, Aaron Ramsey has been playing in pre-season, doing really well. Brought in some very good wingers in the guise of El Ghazi and Chris Willock from QPR. I think it'll take time to settle for them. Cardiff struggle in front of goal, but they have brought in Wilfred Kanga from Hertha Berlin. He scores goals on the continent. Whether he'll do it in the Championship remains to be seen. And at the back, they have brought in Callum Chambers from Aston Villa, but he hadn't played much for Villa in recent seasons. But seen him pre-season, looks comfortable on the ball, and defensively, Cardiff look solid, although they did get smashed, was it 5-1 at the end of the season against Rotherham. Can Cardiff get into the playoffs? Possibly, if they keep their players fit and bring in one or two more signings. I think centre midfield, that they could get Alex Robertson in from Manchester City as well. But we'll see what happens in the next couple of days or following weeks. And just missing out on the playoffs, I have got the Blades Sheffield United. The signing of Kiefer Moore and Callum O'Hara's masterstrokes, really.
Yeah, if you can keep him fit.
And Gusto Hamer there was Callum O'Hara's former teammate at Coventry. So they got the bit of star quality there, but it's just the rest of that Sheffield United squad. Should be good enough for a top half finish. With the manager Chris Wilder, sort of in and out. A couple of seasons ago, he was brilliant. Not the best last year in the Premier League, and they should be decent enough. Maybe able to get into the playoffs, but I've got them finishing in 7th position.
Okay, so moving on from my 10th to 7th. In 10th position, I've got Bristol City. Liam Manning, I do really rate him as a manager. Also, they've spent a load of cash as well for the first time in a number of years as well. Mayulu looks good. Sinclair Armstrong is a decent player at this level. Vyman Goings a small concern for me, but it's going to be another solid season for them, and they are going to slowly start to creep up the table. Slowly but surely, aren't they?
Yeah,
anyway,
Mayulu coming in from Rapid Vienna looks a very good sign.
Oh, he does look decent, to be fair. But anyway, moving on up to 9th. I've got Hull City. Sacking Liam Rossini was just absolutely stupid, wasn't it? Lots of quality going out, including Jayden Philogene with his buyback clause being activated. Jacob Reeves has gone. Ozan Tufan's gone as well.
Lots of goals.
Lots and lots of goals out the door, isn't it? Philogene, assists, Worldies, the whole lot. Tufan getting on with the goals as well. Ryan Giles, Cody Drama, great signings at both left back and right back. They do need a little bit more on the wings, unfortunately, and also they need goals in that side, so going to be a drop off for them next season. In 8th position, I'm going bold here, Cardiff City. I genuinely think that something special is being built here. Chris Willock coming in, El Ghazi coming in, that adds the quality and pace on the wings, doesn't it? Wilfred Kanga really needs to get the goals in the back of the net for this to work.
Yeah, because Mighty won't. I know,
Meite won't, but at the end of the day, we have such a bad record with strikers, doesn't he? Callum Chambers is a quality addition at the back as well. However, the concerns I do have that won't get us into the playoffs is the lack of depth at left back. We've had injuries very early on in the seasons. I know, hasn't even kicked off yet, which is going to hinder us at the start. Unfortunately, that's going to keep us out the playoffs, isn't it? But anyway, moving on. Going to get a lot of angry Coventry City fans in the comments for this one. I've got Coventry just missing out on the playoffs. Jack Rodoni, I'm a bit 50-50 on him coming in from Huddersfield. Brandon Thomas Asante is a fantastic signing as well. Just need a little bit more quality for me to push for automatics. But I don't know why. I think a bit of patchy form, like at some places last season, is just going to have them missing out on the playoffs. Anyway, moving on into the playoffs. 6th position, I've got Middlesbrough. Normally I put them 2nd or 1st, don't I, every season. This time I'm going for 6th. You watch, they'll win the league now. But if Latte Lap can be as prolific as Chuba Akpom was a couple of years back, then it'll be a certain for playoffs. So then with all the goals he'd end up scoring as well, isn't it? Last season was a bit of a transitional year with the amount of players that they had going out the door, but Michael Carrick is a solid manager at this level. He'll get them over the line, won't he? Anyway, moving on to 5th position, I have gone for Norwich City. Wagner out the door last season, wasn't he? And also more depth has been added as well with Cordoba and also Chrisen added as well. 2 decent players there. They got decent quality all over the pitch, haven't they? Getting rid of some more deadwood. And yeah, they'll be dragged into the playoffs kicking and screaming. Anyway, moving on. 4th position. I've got West Bromwich Albion. They brought in some nice smart signings, keeping the wage and transfer bill down, which they need to do, don't they? Like Devontae Cole and McNair coming in as well. They've got a solid squad. Carlos Corberán's one of the best managers in the league, and can also see some more additions coming in August, probably by loans, etc. But missing out on the automatics, I've gone for Burnley. They've retained most of their squad when they walked the league in 22-23, likes of Josh Cullen, Sander Berge, Brownhill, Hans-Noah Masenga. They've also added the likes of Lyle Foster. I'm not keen at all on Scott Parker coming in. Everyone knows my opinions on him. Bournemouth, it was just meh. Fulham got him up, but that was stupid amount of money that he had. Style of play is absolutely horrifying to watch, and that's what's going to keep him at the autos.
Really? Wow. Yeah. Okay, so my 6th to 3rd position. 6th position, I've gone for Norwich, Canaries, Josh Sargent at front, scoring goals when he's not injured. Last season, I think he'll carry that on this season as well. And they've got a bit of magic dust there in Sarah, haven't they, in midfield. And a new signing at the back, who looks at a brilliant player, Jose Cordoba, coming in, Panamanian international, looks really good on the ball, very strong, quick, can go past a player from centre defence and find a pass as well. He'll be a very, very good addition to the Canaries. So I've got them in 6th position, and their manager Jonas Hoff Torp has got a very good pedigree. In 5th position, I have gone for Middlesbrough. As you say, Nathan, all depends on how many goals Latte Laugh scores. Indeed, can they keep hold of him as well? Could be a big money bid coming in, perhaps from the Premier League, etc. But if he's scoring the goals and they can shore up at the back, then Carrick's team there should be good enough for the playoffs. In 4th position, I have gone for Coventry City, the likes of Ellis Sims and Sacramento, who came in last season, another season under their belt. Sims will be helped with Thomas Asante coming in from West Bromwich Albion, is a decent signing there. But the thing with Coventry, I think I noticed last season, they never gave up. A lot of late goals and sort of turning around matches late on in their matches, and if they can start off their matches next season on the front foot, then they should at least get a playoff berth, and maybe they'll be knocking on the automatics as well. In 3rd position, I've gone for Luton Town. Haven't lost many players since coming down from the Premier League. Up front, they look very good with Adebayor and Carlton Morrison, who was very good. Didn't look out of place in the Premier League, did he? And Chong pulling the strings in midfield, going forward as well. They should be good enough to get at least in the playoffs. And Rob Edwards tactically is very astute, and if he needs to change things in the middle of a game, then he can. And I think Luton will do very, very good again. Onto the automatic promotion places. We've got Burnley and we've got Leeds left. And in 2nd position, I've gone for Leeds United. Last season was superb again, over 90 points, and normally that would be good enough for automatic promotion. However, they always manage to shoot themselves in the foot. I think they lost at some point near the end of the season 4-0 away against QPR, but QPR were absolutely phenomenal that night. So I've got them finishing in second position. I think Somerville is now going out the door at long last. But the likes of Rutter, Nonto up front, Daniel James adding the pace there. They should have their squad. Even Ampadu, captain now for Leeds. They'll just be too strong for most of the teams in this division. So that means my champions returning to the Premier League at the first time of asking will be Burnley. Okay, Scott Parker, like Daniel Farke's got a couple of promotions to the Premier League behind him already. But the only thing with Burnley and their fans, they're going to be probably bored to death watching them. When he was at Fulham, it was a snore fest, wasn't it? Effective, but all the same, the football, he'll bore the rest of the Championship to death with the style of play. Lyle Foster at front and Domdouni should get a hatful of goals at this level, and Sanderberg in the middle, in midfield will be too much for the opposition, and they'll get Burnley over the line as champions in first position.
So for my automatic second, I've gone for Luton Town. They've pretty much retained almost all of their squad from last season in the Premier League, haven't they? Rob Edwards is a quality manager, likes of Ogbene, Townsend. You've also got Carlton Morris, who scored a load of goals last season. Marvellous Nakamba, Tai Chong as well is fantastic. They were all excellent for the league.
They were really good in the Premier League, weren't they?
Yeah,
they were unlucky.
Really unlucky not to stay up, so they're going to have a swift return to the Premier League. And top of the shops, it pains me to say this, it's going to be Leeds United, isn't it?
Don't think they're going to shoot themselves in the foot now.
Not this year, no, compared to everyone else in the league. They've lost Somerville, lost Archie Gray, but that's not going to matter, is it? Another 90-point season is coming up for them. Added Julian Bogle and also Rothwell as well.
Good.
Great signings, isn't it, for this level? But they've got the money coming in for both Somerville and Archie Gray. There's going to be spending coming up in August, isn't it? So, certain champions for me.
Fantastic. So those are our predictions for the season, for the 2024-2025 season. Again, I'm going to be running at the Superbru Predictions League each and every week. However, I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing videos for championship predictions each and every week. I'll probably just have a community post. I'm going to be concentrating more this season on the channel with the Premier League. But league code is on the screen, and all the details on how you join the league is in the description as well. Nathan, before we go, quick one, top scorer, who do you think will end up as top scorer in the championship?
Oh, that's tough. Let's go bold. He's going to get him kicking and screaming into the playoffs. Latte Laugh.
Yeah, Latte Laugh. Maybe somebody at Leeds, perhaps. Maybe Morris at Luton, perhaps. Nonto, maybe at Leeds.
If he
He's
can
more
keep
of
his
a
action
winger.
at bay, yeah.
Isn't he? Retta, perhaps. Sims
Could
at
be.
Coventry, maybe. But there we are. Thanks for joining us once again. Leave your predictions for the full season as a comment, and we'll go through them with a fine-tooth comb.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining me once again. Enjoy the action, which all kicks off on Friday night between, I think Derby are playing Blackburn, aren't they? And we'll see you all in the next video.